What happened? Well, let me take two cases which were very close. Two cases that we discussed were the slaughter in Timor from 1975 to 1979 and the slaughter in Cambodia in the same years, 1975 to 79. We compared those two cases. In the same area of the world, the same years, the same time frame. The evidence available was comparable. The slaughters were apparently comparable in scale. The one in Timor was considerably greater relative to the population, but probably roughly comparable in scale. The one in Timor was considerably greater relative to the population. The one in Timor was considerably greater relative to the population, but probably roughly comparable in scale. Vast outcry of outrage over the communist monsters who were carrying out this horrifying bloodbath and so on and so forth. Interestingly, in all of there was a tremendous amount of fabrication, just plain fabrication of evidence. For example, let's just give you one example. Take this 2 million boast of 2 million killed. You know, that's what everybody's heard. You ask people, how many people had Pol Pot killed by, say, 1977? They'll say 2 million. Here's where it comes from. There was a book published by a French priest, François Panchaud is his name, who's from Cambodia. He wasn't there then, but he knew about Cambodia. He published a book in French. It was reviewed by a French journalist named Jean Lacouture. It was reviewed in France. Anyhow, after I read the book, I wrote a letter to Lacouture, who I know, and I told him, look, I don't know what the facts are about Cambodia, but the relation between your review and the book is zilch, and I think you ought to correct it. Because your review is being quoted all over the place. Well, he actually published corrections in the New York Review. You know, he said, yeah, he made a couple of mistakes. He said, well, maybe the number killed wasn't 2 million. Maybe it was just in the thousands, he said. A slight difference. You know, a factor of 1,000 difference. Was the information given by State Department intelligence. Now, the State Department Cambodia watchers, you know, State Department intelligence, they were the only people with any evidence about what was going on in Cambodia. And they apparently had pretty good intelligence. They claimed to be able to even pick up radio transmissions and all sorts of stuff. And they were giving a totally different story. They said that what was going on, that there was, you know, big slaughter, but they said it was in the tens or hundreds of thousands, and it was not mass genocide, but it was rather mostly harsh conditions and, you know, brutality and so on. The one in Timor was considerably greater relative to the population, but probably roughly comparable in scale. Maybe the number killed wasn't 2 million. Maybe it was just in the thousands, he said. A slight difference. You know, a factor of 1,000 difference. There was, you know, big slaughter, but they said it was in the tens or hundreds of thousands, and it was not mass genocide, and it was not mass genocide.